All right. So, first quarter, you guys predominantly worked on the set for me, and I tried to throw in individual, like, okay, take these tutorials on the light board. Did you all three get through all the tutorials on the light board?
No.
Okay, so that would be fun. You could take my computer and do that today, because what I want to do the next quarter is actually have a project for you to accomplish.
Okay.
So, part of what the school wants us to do is to have students determine their own curriculum, their own outcomes. What do you want at the end of this process to have happen? And for student input on how to assess it, too.
Great.
That's fun.
So,
I say no tests.
Yeah.
I like no tests.
Yeah, no test is a good plan.
Unanimous decision.
Input.
No
yes, there you go.
tests it is then.
So, I want you to start thinking about, okay, I want to do something in theater I haven't done before, or I want to pursue something much more in depth than I have before. What kind of project can I design for myself in independent study that's a quarter project? For instance, in 7th period, Bryce Hutchings did stage lighting history.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it's a 3-step thing. That's just the first step, is that poster. He's eventually going to teach the class stage lighting history. So that's an option too. Are you like, I really want to teach the class this, but first I have to pursue it myself. Or I want to create a light design. I want to know how to do it. I want to start. I want to draw it out like Sam Molatoris does. It's exactly how I want to do it. Or I want to design and build something I've never built before, like the gazebo, except that if we make this a class project, you're actually going to have to draw it out with specs,
Alright.
not just in,
That sounds like fun, actually.
So, ideas?
I want to sew a costume. Like, take the measurements, actually make a costume that somebody could wear on stage.
That's pretty cool.
I think that would be entertaining, and we can see how that would go.
And I think there's a research piece to that too, because costuming is a little bit different from just being a seamstress. Not much, but there's a reason that costume makers refer to it as building a costume as opposed to sewing. It's really very weird.
And like it has to like fit the character, it has to fit the time period. Like there's so much that has to go into it. It's not just like sewing
Yes.
something.
And they were actually sitting around backstage for some strange reason, but my college costume projects were floating around backstage, where you actually sketch out the character. You don't have to give them a face, so it's just a blank face. And you sketch out what you see the headpiece would look like, the scarf, the wraps, the skirt, and you color it with colored pencils to achieve the color you want. And then you actually go to Joann's or something, and you get they let you get little snips, little swatches, and you glue them onto the different part.
That would be so much fun.
Yeah, and then
That'd be so cool.
that's what costume designers submit to directors and producers before they sew the costume.
Which is a good decision.
Yeah.
Just maybe.
And then you kind of justify it. You say, well, I know that most of the time when you do Taming of the Shrew, Bianca's in baby pinks and powder blues, but I'm going to put her in cherry red because I think there's more to this. There's more conniving to her than meets the eye. I think she's a real passionate person who loves to play with men's hearts.
So should I like pick a show that I would do a costume for, or should I do it for one of our shows?
You could do it either way, but however you do it, did you know you could submit it to ThesCon?
Really?
Yes. There's a costume design category, which might be fun to get online and
If
pursue.
that goes well, I might
And
do
there's a
that.
rubric, there's an accompanying rubric, which
That's how you can judge me. That's my assessment.
could do that. I don't know if there's sound design, just
There is. I haven't looked into it because it's not something that I've wanted to do, but I could look into how to do a formal design.
yeah, you could look at their rubric.
I think that
and
would be
see.
interesting to do because I just sort of am like, I'm going to do this.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, we all do.
Yeah.
I still to this day like to do it that way with lighting. I like to just go up there and
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to
Oh,
do
right
a
for
formal
there.
design
yeah.
as opposed to just will work.
Coolness. Do you want to get onto the ThesCon site right now?
Sure.
And look at it? Cool.